Hello students. This presentation is about special characteristics of logic families. Today's learning objective is to remember the following special characteristics of logic families: fan in and fan out, power dissipation, propagation delay, and noise margin. In the lab experiment, we have used these ICs. Have you ever thought what is inside these ICs? Yes, we have already tested that there are some set of logic gates. But what does a logic gate consist of? What is inside this NOT gate is? Yes, it consists of an inverter circuit which is made of a transistor and the proper connection of resistors with this power supply. Or the NAND gate may consist of some sequence of transistors connected together with the resistors and power supply. So we call this combination as digital logic family. Yes, this IC is nothing but integrated circuit device, which consists of group of logic gates. And the logic family is defined as the one which has its own power supply, say 5 volt, 12 volt or 15 volt. Generally the digital logic ICs, they will use a 5 volt power supply, and some distinct logic levels are defined for each family. Say here this TTL logic family is given here, for which the low level is defined between 0 volt to 0.8 volt and high voltage is defined between 2 volt to 5 volt. Or a CMOS logic gate, the low level is defined between 0 volt to 1.5 volt and high level is defined between 3.5 volt to 5 volt. So in such a way, every logic family has its own power supply and distinct logic levels. So the basic circuit in all IC logic family is either a NAND gate or a NOR gate. Let us see what are the different digital logic families available. Resistor transistor logic family, which is called as RTL. Diode transistor logic family, short form DTL. Transistor transistor logic family, TTL. Emitter coupled logic family, defined as ECL. And metal oxide semiconductor logic family, MOS family, or complementary metal oxide semiconductor logic family, called in short as CMOS logic family. Some examples, common examples of logic families, that is TTL was more popularly used until the development of CMOS logic family. So in all these logic family, we can see that they are defined by certain numbers. 74 represent these digital ICs, and the L and S, it represents the various subcategories of this logic family, and all of them will have the same power supply and the levels of inputs and outputs, the low level and high level. And CMOS logic family, by default, they will use the alphabet C to represent that it belongs to the CMOS logic family. Now, the various characteristics of logic family based on which we compare and analyze these circuits. So the logic families are usually compared by analyzing the basic gate that is present in each family and some important characteristics of these gates. And these important parameters are fan in and fan out, power dissipation, propagation delay, and noise margin. The first parameter, fan in and fan out. So we define fan in as the number of inputs to the gate. That is, to this gate, how many inputs we can have. And fan out is the standard loads that can be connected to the output of the gate without degrading the normal operation. So to the output of this NOT gate, how many similar such NOT gates can be connected so that the operation of this NOT gate is not degraded. So that number defines the fan out, and we call this as a standard load as the one in which the amount of current needed by the number of input of another gate in the same logic family, we call it as a standard load. So these four NOT gates we call it as standard load. From the point of view of this particular input or the single NOT gate, the output of a gate, it can supply some limited amount of current, and above which if we try to connect more number of gates to its output, it will ceases to operate properly. It will not function as a NOT gate properly, and on that condition we call it as overloaded. From the point of view of this input of these four NOT gates, each input will consume certain amount of current to operate, and if we try to connect an additional NOT gate at this output, we call that we are adding load to the output gate, this one, and exceeding the specified maximum load will cause the malfunction of these total circuit. So it is because that this circuit, the output of this NOT gate, is not in a position to supply the required amount of power demanded by the connected 4 or 5 NOT gates. Hence, we define fan out as the maximum number of inputs that can be connected to the output of a gate, and it is expressed in a number. It is just an integer number with no unit. Now, how do we calculate this fan out number? It is calculated from the amount of current available at the output of a gate and the amount of current needed for the input of a gate. Say the high level outputs current as IOH and the current needed at the input of this NAND gate is IIH. Or for a low level output, IOL is the amount of current at the output of the NAND gate and IIL is the amount of current at the input of the NAND gate at the low level. So let us say the current at the output of this high level output current is 400 microamps and the current needed at the input of this NAND gate is 40 microamps. Similarly, the IOL, the current needed at the low level output of this NAND gate is 16 milliamps and current needed at the low level input of the NAND gate is 1.6 milliamps. So from these four values of this current at the low level and high level at the input and output of the NAND gate, we try to calculate the fan out as the ratio of the high level output by the high level input current, that is 400 microamps by 40 microamps, or low level output current to low level input current ratio, that is 16 milliamps by 1.6 milliamps. So both these ratio will give you a value of 10. That is, the fan out of standard TTL is 10. So the data that we have given for this current is for a standard TTL gate, and hence the calculated value of fan out is 10, which means that the output of a TTL can be connected to not more than 10 NAND gates at the output of this NAND gate, and they should belong to the same logic family. If we try to connect the gate from other logic family, this fan out number will differ. The next parameter is power dissipation. Every electronic circuit requires certain amount of power to operate properly. And here in these logic circuits, it represents the amount of power needed for the operation of a gate, or it is the power delivered to the gate from the power supply. So power dissipation is a parameter which is expressed in milliwatts because only milliamps of current flows to the gate at the input or output. It is calculated from the power supply voltage, which is defined as VCC, and the current ICC that is drawn by the circuit. So the product of VCC and ICC gives the power dissipation PD. We define ICCH as the current drawn from the power supply when the output of the gate is at the high voltage level, and ICCL is the current when the output is at the low voltage level. We calculate ICC average as the average of these two current at the low level and the high level, when the gate is at the low level and high level. And then this average current is multiplied by the VCC to give the power dissipation of the logic family. So let us see how it is calculated. For example, a standard TTL NAND gate uses a power supply of 5 volt and its current at the low level and high level is 3 milliamps at low level and the current at high level is 1 milliamps. So the purpose here is to find out the power dissipation in the NAND gate IC, underlying NAND gate IC. So the average, as per the formula, the average current is equal to high level current plus the low level current by 2, which gives 2 milliamps. So the average power dissipation VCC into ICC average is 5 into 2. 5 into this 2 equal to 10 milliwatts. But this 10 milliwatt is for only one NAND gate and this IC has 4 NAND gates. So the power dissipation in the IC is equal to power dissipation in one gate into the number of NAND gates, that is equal to 10 into 4 equal to 40 milliwatts. So this is how we calculate the power dissipated from the available data in the data sheet of the logic family. Next parameter is propagation delay. It is defined as the average transition delay time for the signal to propagate from the input to output when the binary signal is changing its value. The signal actually takes certain time to propagate from the input side to output side. And this time interval, we define it as a propagation delay of the gate. That is, as soon as we apply input, we get an output in our lab experiment, but it is due to the perception of eye we are able to get. But if you minutely observe the time with respect to the time over a very small time period of say nanosecond and millisecond, there will be a small delay. Hence, the propagation delay is measured in nanosecond, and a nanosecond is nothing but 1 by 10 to the power 9 of a second. So the signals from the input to the output is passed through a series of gates. We don't use a single gate, we have a series of gates. Hence, the sum of these propagation delay put together is called as total delay of the circuit. Hence, each gate should have a very short propagation delay. And that is why the digital circuits are supposed to have minimum number of gates between the inputs and outputs. And that's why we use K-map simplification method to minimize the Boolean expression so that we have small number of gates connected in the circuit, or in turn the propagation delay is smaller. How do we calculate this propagation delay? Say for example, we apply some input to the inverter gate and we get an output. That is, when we apply a 1, we get an output as a 0, or when we apply a 0, we get an output as a 1. So, it is the average propagation time delay calculated from the input and output waveform. So, this is the input waveform. Say we apply a signal that is changing from 0 to 1. After that certain time period, it changes from 1 to 0, changing from low to high and then high to low. When input is changing from low to high, output changes from high to low. So, this time delay between this input and this output changes, you call it as the time delay between the input and output when the output is changing from high to low. You call it as time delay high to low, TPHL. Similarly, time delay low to high is the time delay between the input and output. Changes happens when the output is changing from low to high level. The measurement we try to take at the 50% point of this output and input and the output transition. And the average propagation delay is the average of these two. That is TPHL plus TPLH by 2. These two time delays are not same due to the loading effects of the input side and the output side. So let us see how this propagation delay is calculated. Again, for a standard TTL from the data book, it is found that the time delay for change from high to low is 7 nanosecond and the time delay for a change from low to high is 11 nanosecond. And these values are obtained from the TTL data book, which is measured with a load resistance connected 400 ohms and a load capacitance of 50 picofarad. So the average propagation delay becomes the sum of these two by 2. 7 plus 11 by 2 becomes 9 nanosecond. So for a TTL NAND gate, the propagation delay is 9 nanosecond. The last parameter is noise margin. Any unwanted signal, we call it as a noise. These are the noise which are generated from the industry in the form of spurious electrical signal, and they induce undesirable voltages in the connecting wires of the logic circuits. There are two types of noise. DC noise, which is caused by the drift in the voltage levels of a signal, and AC noise is created by the switching signals, other switching signal, and which is a random pulse. So the ability of a circuit to operate reliably in a noisy environment is very important characteristics of that particular circuit and which is required for many applications. So we define noise margin as the maximum noise voltage that can be added to the input signal of a digital circuit that does not cause an undesirable change in the circuit output. That is, even in the presence of a noise, the circuit is operating properly. That we call it as that maximum voltage level that gets added as a noise, that we call it as a noise margin, which is expressed in volts, and it represents the tolerance level of the gate or a circuit in the noisy environment. Noise margin is calculated from the voltage levels that are available at the output of a gate, either a low level output or a high level output. VOL is the low level output and VOH is the high level output. And the voltage at the input side, which we designate as VIL, low level input, and VIH is the high level input. So any voltage between VCC to VOH is considered as a high level, and voltage between 0 to VOL is considered as a low level output. Similarly, voltage between 0 to VIL is a low level input. Voltage between VIH to VCC is high level input. So VOL low level state, VOH high level state, and in between these two, VOL or VOH, VIL and VIH, we call it as indeterminate voltage. So the circuit cannot be determined at any particular state, either a low state or a high level state. Noise margin is the tolerance limit we have just seen. So the circuit can tolerate any noise voltage, which is a difference between the low level input and the low level output. So to compensate for any noise signal, the circuit must be designed in such a way that VIL, that is low level input, is greater than the low level output, or high level input is less than high level output. So we define noise margin as either the difference between the input and output voltage at high level or the difference between the input and output at the low level, whichever is smaller. That we call it as a noise margin. So let us see how this noise margin is calculated. So for a standard TTL gate, so voltage at high level output is 2.4 volt, low level output is 0.4 volt, low level input is 0.8 volt, and high level input is 2 volt. So to calculate the noise margin, we calculate the difference between the VOH and VIH, that is 2.4 minus 2 volt is 0.4, or VOL minus VIL, 0.8, sorry, VIL minus VOL. So 0.8 minus 0.4 becomes 0.4. So here both the values are same. In some cases it may be different. So when they are different, whichever is the smaller one, that we consider as a noise margin. So for this given standard TTL NAND gate, the noise margin is 0.4 volt. Yes, let us summarize what we have seen so far. We have come to the end of all the characteristics of the logic families. So from the data sheet of the logic family, we will observe VCC and ICC, and then the current levels at low level and high level at the input and output. So 4 current levels we will observe. Then the voltage levels at the input side, output side during the low level state and the high level state, and the time delays when the output is changing from low to high or high to low. And then we will calculate the following parameters: fan out, power dissipation, propagation delay, and noise margin. So based on these 4 parameters, we will compare the available logic families, and depending on our requirement, whether we want a low power circuit, low level logic circuit for our application, or a low propagation delay, or a low noise margin, or high number of fan out. So whichever is our requirement, based on that the logic family is chosen for our application. So these are the 4 parameters based on which the choice of a logic circuit for our application is decided. Thank you and happy learning.